red dots. This is whole and that is whole. This and that means what? This world which we see in front of us is whole, complete, full, total. There is nothing lacking in this world. Please understand. There is nothing lacking in this world. This world is complete and full already. This universe. And that means to say what? It is limitless, endless. It goes on and on. So it means to say that there is nothing new which could be created in this world. If you see a new invention, somebody makes something new, that is there in the world already in what we call unmanifest form. So he just brings that thing from the unmanifest into the manifest. This is the Gita also. Nasato vidyate bhavaha, nasato vidyate bhavaha, nasato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha. In the second chapter. Ubhayorapi drishtontaha tvanayos tattvadarshibhi. That the wise one, he sees this, he understands this. All things are already there. Suppose a new plant comes there. So you say, but that was not there. It's a new thing in the world. That plant was already there in the seed in an unmanifest form. So you just put the seed in the ground there and the plant comes up. Anything. If somebody invents a car, the car is there in unmanifest form already in the mind of Ishvara. So what this person does, he just takes metal from the ground and plastic from there and this and that, and he puts this car together with the blueprint which is already there in the mind of Ishvara. And then how many blueprints are there in Ishvara's mind? Infinite. So there is nothing, if it is infinite, there is nothing new which could be conceived. Isn't it? Already it is. It is there. And see slight variation in next car. That slight variation also is there in the mind of Ishvara. Because the next model is a slight variation, isn't it? In Ishvara's mind, infinite. So this universe has everything already with Ishvara as the universe. Because see, Ram Maisapa Jagachani Tulsidaji said, all this is Ram only. Ishvara. This whole universe is Ishvara. And not only, in fact, it is said in Shastras, what we see as universe is only a minuscule part. What we see is only a minuscule part of Ishvara. He is much more. Do you know, in Ramayana at one place, in Tarkan, he said that whatever we see as all of these universes, how many stars you see in the sky, each one will be like our sun. And our sun right here has this earth going around, and this earth has human beings on it. Every star we see is like our sun or even bigger. They could have 10 earths, some of them. You see? So, he said all of this Brahmanda which we see hair, they are all strung on one eyebrow only of Bhagavan. All of them only on one eyebrow. How many eyebrows left yet? See, this is the meaning of, when you start thinking about infinity, it blows the mind. Infinite, more than what we could ever dream. So, this is called full, total, complete. Everything is there, nothing is missing. So, this universe is full, complete, and that also, that reality is full and complete. Purnasya purnamadaya purnameva vashishyate. If we delete this full universe which we are seeing, or we negate it, remove it, what is left is still full. Avashishyate, when Bhagavan will be left, Bhagavan is still full. So, this is a very powerful mantra. It itself requires a whole lecture by itself. Then, after this invocation mantra comes, Eshavasyopanishad sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjitaha ma grida kasya svidhanam. This verse, first verse, lays down at the same time the philosophical or metaphysical foundations of Sanatana Dharma, Hinduism. Then it also tells the sadhana that is required for realizing that foundation of the universe. The foundation of the universe is Isha. Isha means God. God is at the substratum of this universe. It's like if you go to the ocean, now you see a heavy amount of water. Can you imagine the weight of water in the ocean? That can crush, if a person goes too deep down below because of the pressure, it will crush him to bits. The weight of water, Now see the weight of the water, then how many waves and bubbles and froth and so many things form from that water. And the waves all day. But really, the substratum of all of them, what sustains all of them, what supports all of them, is a very small little formula of one hydrogen and one oxygen and two hydrogen. One O and two H come out like that. That little, which you cannot see with the naked eye also, but that is what makes up the whole ocean. So from the relative standpoint, from the standpoint of the ocean, the substratum is H2O. From the relative standpoint, in this world which we see, the substratum is Ishvara. That is the idea. So that is a metaphysical understanding. Ishvara is the substratum of this universe. Now, in order to realize that Ishvara, to know, because when we look, we don't see Ishvara. What Ishvara you are talking about? We see houses and trees and cars and objects and this and that, right? When a person looks with his naked eyes, he doesn't see any Ishvara at all. So to come to realize that substratum, to know that substratum, what is required? Tyaktena. Tyaktena. But by, tyaktena I told you, third case, instrumental. By renunciation. It means to say, I have to now start practicing renunciation. Yesterday we were talking about physical renunciation and mental renunciation. Physical renunciation is less important. What is important is mental renunciation. Like for example, if somebody tells, you're a fool, right? And he insults me in front of, like Bhagavan had really played a trick on Narad in Balkant. He made Narad's face into a monkey. And all the other people laughed at him like anything. Now, that thing pained Narad's heart, So, renunciation also means the ability to drop that. Oh, that is gone. Drop it. I'm okay. I'm not monkey. He just played a monkey trick on me. See, so renunciation is not only I have something, I'm able to drop it. That is just a simple part. The real thing is to drop it from our mind. Two sadhus, they were walking, two monks, and they came to a river. And they had to cross this river, and there was a young girl standing there. And that river was, that day it was higher, it rose, and water was gushing down. So one of the monk he lifted that girl and he took her across. So when they got on the other side, they rejoined each other and they continued on their journey. After a long 2-3 hours of walking, that other monk told, hey, you know, we are monks, we are not supposed to touch women, you know. You lifted that girl and held her so closely also, and you took her across there. What is this? Then that other monk said, see, I dropped her over there, you are still carrying her. So, when we talk about mental renunciation, this is what we mean. See, physically that one dropped, and mentally also. This one mentally is still. This is an amazing thing about mind. Mind can carry things for years. So mental renunciation is what is important. Very, very important. Drop things mentally. Gone. And especially the past. So the method to really realize that ultimate reality, that method is given in this verse also. Tyaktena, by renunciation. Tena tyaktena. Only when we renounce, there are two things there. Only when we renounce, we will discover that truth. Mundita will come to enjoy absolute bliss by renunciation only. Second thing, if a person really doesn't renounce, you just have to think about this. Look here. Suppose you're sitting in a movie theater and you're seeing latest movie that is released, right? Everybody wants to go and see this latest movie. Even the only thing I'm talking about is like movie. Or you like pizza, so you're eating pizza, right? Any worldly thing we want to enjoy also. Forget about absolute bliss. Worldly thing. If you go in that movie theater there, you know, and you are parking your car outside, and while parking your car, somebody comes and bumps into that car. So it gets a little dent on the bumper. Right? Now what you do? In the parking lot there, you have some procedure you have to follow. Na? You call police, this, that, they'll take a report or whatever. Or you make an agreement with this man. Okay, you'll fix my car because you bumped into my car. This, whatever. You make that agreement. So now you go and sit in the movie theater. Now you're only thinking about that car there. Now even this worldly to enjoy this movie also, because your mind is not on movie, your mind is on car. You know how you'll enjoy this movie? Or you go to eat pizza, your best pizza shop, Papa John or something. You go there. I don't know what pizza you have here. When you go in that place and some same thing happened. You're eating this, you don't know when you're finished because your mind is on. You finished 3 slices and you don't know. To enjoy even worldly thing, we need renunciation actually. Our mind should drop all of those things. Then only we can enjoy worldly things. Like this, the only way to enjoy this supreme bliss is for the mind to leave this whole world totally and go inside and find that realm of solitude, quiet, tranquility, peace. That mind, that requires great renunciation. Mental renunciation. I leave all. Who is there, who is not there, whatever. Leave it and go inside. So, tena tyaktena buddhitaha ma grada kasyas vidyana. Don't go on holding on coveting things in the world. Because things in the world, they are ephemeral, you know, they will come and go. We use them, they're there, that's fine. It's okay. We should not be so strongly attached to them. You know, from an ordinary standpoint, what is the attachment? It's a very easy thing to remember. If there is something in my life which, if it is taken away, I am miserable. If it is taken away, I am totally devastated. That means I am attached. That is the idea. That is the way to anything. Anything. That's, somebody takes it and it goes away. And then I am so devastated. That means I was attached. You please remember when you came in this world, you came with nothing. Somebody has to give us some clothes also. We have absolutely nothing. We should always remember that is my natural state. My natural state is really I have nothing. मुट्ठी बांध के आया जग में, हाथ पसारे जाएगा. Means I came like this, there was nothing. When I leave, I will leave like this. There is also nothing, empty-handed. Always remember that is my natural state. In that state, I should learn to be absolutely happy. You have nothing? ठीक है. I am okay. If Bhagavan wants me to get some food, he'll send. Swami Vivekananda was leaving Calcutta one day. He was going to Haridwar. There are train stops, in Banaras, halfway. So when he was leaving Calcutta, somebody asked Swamiji, you have no food? What you will eat on this train? Swamiji said, if Bhagavan wants me to have food, I will get. You see, his renunciation is so much. After renunciating everything, he leaves everything in the hands of Bhagavan. When he reached Banaras, somebody walked into that train and said, who is Swami Vivekananda? Where is Swami Vivekananda? Swamiji looked out of the aisle like this. In those days, there was no telephone. Somebody walked into the train and gave him a basket of food and walked back out. How did he knew he was in that train? That same buggy coming asking him, who brought that food? He doesn't know and nobody else knew. No. That person who really renounces, Bhagavan takes care of everything. One day, I was telling this story. It's very interesting. There was a big temple I was having satsang. Huge temple. Go 100 feet way over there. In the middle of my satsang, I saw a man walked in there. When I saw, I had forgotten. That man had given me 10 tickets. He wanted me to help him sell. He was doing a fundraiser. And they were selling some food and all for $10 a ticket. And he had given me 10 tickets. He said, Swami, please help me sell this ticket. I said, yeah, no problem. I'll help you sell. I will help you in this fundraiser. Give me those tickets. That happened like 3 weeks before. And I don't even know where I kept those tickets. 3 weeks before, I had forgotten all about that. And then now when I saw him walk in that temple, then I realized, I don't even know where I kept those tickets. I tell you how I forgot, so totally forgot. I thought, no, what I'll tell him. Then, while walking out of that satsang over after half an hour, 45 minutes, I was walking out. That man is sitting at the end. Middle of the temple, one man walks out into the aisle. Hey, Swami, today is my birthday, and I just want to give you this. And he gave me an envelope. He says, I want to give you this, today is my birthday. And he does namaskar and he gave that envelope. So from middle of the temple, I have to reach that end. I opened that envelope, so there was $100. I said, here is your money for your ticket here. Bhagavan just, he sends everything in the right place, right time and all, But you have to really subscribe to this type of living and this type of, existing and all that kind of thing. Have absolute faith in. That's a process also. It takes some time to really reach that stage. And the Lord just said, whatever is required to heal, He'll send that. All the wonderful experiences, you just have to watch. See how the Lord makes this world go around very nicely. Anyway, so the renunciation is the method which is given in the verse, because the word tyaktena. Tyakta, that comes from Sanskrit tyaj. Tyaj means to give up. So we are talking about physically and mentally. So what I told, what is more important is that mental tie, the mental tying which we have to think. We are tied to this, tied to that, tied to the other thing mentally. That brings a kind of mental slavishness and dependence. So that is given there in the first verse. So the reality is pointed out, which is all pervasive, omnipresent reality, and which is the substratum of the universe. And reaching that reality, the main thing there which is given, really is renunciation. Now, the path of renunciation and contemplation and meditation and all that type of thing, on higher reality, that path is suited to a person of high intellectual caliber, actually. One whose intellect can really think about all of these subtle esoteric matters, And not everybody is able to do that. Thinking about philosophical things or thinking in a philosophical way, that is not everybody really can do that thing. Therefore, in a class like this, where there is thinking from a philosophical standpoint, these type of classes are really small. If there is some other thing like some bhajan session, some Sundarkand chanting, some puja homa, some that kind of thing, that you will find a whole big group of people. Those type of other things, because that thing is easy. It doesn't require any philosophical thinking and all. So the world is filled with all different type of people, and the best person is the one who can do that and who can do this also. That is better. Sometimes one can only do this type of thing. He doesn't want to hear anything about puja, ritual, this, that, chanting and all. He can only study philosophically. Then there is another one who can only do all that chanting and Sundarkand and all that. He cannot think philosophically. If you tell him about all Eshavasyopanishad sarvam, and he doesn't want to hear this thing. But if that person can bring both in his life, that would be wonderful. So generally speaking, this is from a broad perspective now. Our tradition is divided into these two. But the philosophical tradition, where one does a lot of thinking, and the action-oriented tradition, where one does all the Sundarkand chanting and seva, karma yoga and all. Really broadly speaking, it is divided into two. Karma yoga actually fits into bhakti yoga. So you have on this side the physical tradition and you have the spiritual tradition. So through the physical also, if it is done well, that's called karma yoga. If it is done well, one can also move along this path. The karma just has to be done well. So the first verse of the Upanishad speaks about this philosophical tradition, thinking and contemplation and meditation and all that. The second verse speaks about this physical tradition of karma yoga and devotion and bhakti and all that kind of thing. That is coming in the second verse. So let us see now this, because the world is made up of different types, and human beings are made up of different types of people. We are. Some are more physical oriented and some are more intellectually oriented. So this is number 2. Kuruvanneveha karmani. Kuruvanneveha karmani. Jijivishetagam samaha. Jijivishetagam samaha. Evam tvainanyat heto. We have something called chanda or mita in Sanskrit, where each pada will have a certain amount of syllables, but here it doesn't follow the chanda. So let's see if you can split that maybe a little bit more down. Evam tvainanyat hetosti. Evam tvainanyat hetosti. Na karma lipyate nare. Na karma lipyate nare. Na karma lipyate nare. Na karma lipyate nare. It is called chanda bhanga. Chanda bhanga means chanda is chanda is not, it's broken. Alright, so now Kurvan. Kurvan is present passive, present participle. Present participle means doing, while doing, right? eva, iha. Doing alone here itself, what doing what? Karmani. While doing our karmas, jijivishet chatakam samaha. The person should desire to live for 100 years. This is a very wonderful statement. Desire to live for 100 years. Evam tvai nanyatha itaha asti na karma lipyate naraha. Here there is no other thing for him to do. There is no other thing for the person to do but to work, do the karma and desire to live 100 years. I said if that is done properly, na karma lipyate nare. That is the most important part. Na karma lipyate nare. And that person will not be smeared by actions. He will not be contaminated by actions. He will not be bound, in other words, bound by actions. So this is where karma yoga comes in that last phrase. In karma yoga, or why karma yoga was developed at all by Bhagavan. Why the Lord has made this world like this? Because karma binds. So he said if we follow what is given in the verse here, karma will not bind. Lipyate here means contaminate or bind or smear. Lipyate. What does it mean of karma binds? We every day we do all of the karma, na? We do this, do that. What does it mean of binds? Now study that a little bit, because that is at the root of all karma yoga. Karma yoga. See here. What we are doing every day is karma. Karma binds. If we can find out how to transmute or transform that karma into karma yoga will free us. Karma binds, karma yoga frees. This is the idea. So, when we say karma binds, what do we mean? So, there are two words. Karma bandhana. Bhagavan using Gita. Karma bandhana. So, one is bandhana and one is karma. So, we have to see those two words now. Karma means everything which we do on a daily basis. Anything, even a thought. That is also karma. So the idea is every karma has a result. Anything that you do will have a result. No karma goes without result. Anything. Even if I think something, like for example, suppose I think something bad about my neighbor, which I normally do. Then that thought causes my mind, because a negative thought, I'm thinking something bad about my neighbor. That thought causes my mind to always be more on the negative side rather than on the positive side. So if I do it today, then I do it tomorrow, and I keep on doing it. See how many bad karmas I am actually committing in my mind. That will eventually make the mind very cynical, negative, doubting. Anyway, in 4th chapter of Bhagavan said, Samshayatma Vinashati. The doubting type of mind, cynical type of mind, skeptical type of mind, that negative type of mind, that will cause that person to perish. With a negative mind, how you will survive in this world? We should have a very great positive, bright outlook, na? Not only that. Like, so if I think something negative about the neighbor, it is going to contribute in some small measure to sending the mind on the negative side. I do it once, I do it twice, I do it 3 times, eventually. So even a thought has a result. To some small degree, it causes a negative tendency in the mind. You see? So physical karma, that has a result. Lifting and putting, the result is the kerchief moved from here to there. And this is just some of the seen results. In physical karma, there are so many different results. only some which we see. Like for example, this is here, and the karma of lifting and moving, the result is it ends up there. That is only one result. While moving it, I caused the air to move here or not. When I was moving it, I caused air movement. Right? That air movement, when one particle hits another particle, and I cause so much of movement of air itself, air particles. No, that we cannot see. So I am saying, when we do some karma, there are some seen results and there are some unseen results. They both will be there. Karma is like that. So now, how it binds? The idea is, if I am the initiator of that karma, the result of the karma has to come back to me. That is, so you sow, so shall you reap. It doesn't say, so you sow, so shall I reap. Yeah. You sow and I reap. Doesn't say like that. Say, so you sow, so shall you reap. And so you sow, so shall I reap. That happens in agriculture only. You sow and I reap. Yeah? You plant okra, bindi, and the law of karma is so you sow, so shall you reap. Tulsidaji writes. Jo jasa karai, so tasa phalu chakha. As we do, so we will receive. Now, that actually, if you give a little bit of thought to it, you will see that in this lifetime, all the karmas which I do, because how many karmas we will do in this lifetime? So many countless karmas we will do, right? And I don't get the result of all of them immediately. Some of them I do, and I get the result. So, like for example, I plant a mango tree there, right? And after 2 weeks, after planting mango tree, I die. Well, I did a good act by planting a mango tree, and many people get mango from it, but I did not get. But I was the one who planted. So I'm just saying one little action, one little thing, and there are so many actions we do, and they're good and bad, both. So if I did not get the result of those actions in this lifetime, then when am I going to get them? Where actions necessitate another birth, because I have to come back to receive the result. And that is what we call bondage. The actions which we do now, they necessitate further births. Now and when I come back next time to reap the result of those actions, I do 10 million more actions. You see? So I am coming life after life to receive the results of the previous life. And when I come to receive, I am also doing new actions. Now I am, in other words, ordering a next birth. This is one of the meaning of bondage. If I find myself in a vicious, series of things that I cannot. Because when I come to receive the result next time, I cannot just sit there and receive result. I have to be doing actions. And those are also creating future results. And it goes on and on and on and on endlessly. So this is called as bondage. Cycle of birth and death, to which I am bound. I have no choice. That is the idea. Then second thing, both in doing the karma and receiving the result, there is sorrow. Because karma nobody likes to do. If we can get, our salary without going to work, everybody will stay home. Suppose the boss said, okay, the company will pay you now. You get your same check every month. No need to come to work. Who will go? People will not go. He doesn't like to do the karma. So he gets sorrow in doing karma. The only thing which he enjoys, he will do that only. Not all his work, he will not go to work and all. So, in doing the karma, there is sorrow. In receiving the result also, if it is bad result, there is sorrow. So really this life is full of a lot of sorrows. So many things which a man doesn't like. And I told you now, the thing which he doesn't like, that is what he gets. What he likes, he doesn't get. What he doesn't like, that only he gets. That's the amazing thing. So the second meaning of the word bondage is, all of us will face sorrow whether we like it or who can come in this world and say, okay, from birth to death I will have no sorrow. He's afraid to say also, because the moment he says it, something might happen to him. Second meaning of sorrow. First meaning is, we are bound to come here and receive the results of our karmas. And then we are bound to do more karmas and then order our next birth. Second, we are all bound to have sorrow, which can be called by so many different things, right? See, we are bound to birth, we are bound to death. None of which we like, because when a child is born, he cries. And nobody likes to die also. No creature also. We are bound to get disease. Who will come in this world and not get any disease from birth until death? Some disease, sickness, pain, is something we'll get now. Everybody will get. So we are bound to disease. We are bound to debilities and infirmities of all the ages. Debilities and infirmities of all the ages. Like for example, a little boy, little child. He sees his dad is so big and strong, and he's trying to lift up something and he cannot lift it. But his dad is lifting it very easily. So he's thinking, oh, when am I going to become like my dad? So for him, those are debilities and infirmities, isn't it? But the dad now, he's becoming older. And he's forgetting, where did I keep my keys? So this boy has one type of debilities, then the dad has different type, isn't it? Because slowly he's going. Then in the youth also, he'll have different type of debilities and shortcomings. And so in every stage of his life, he'll have some different type of, because when he becomes a youth, young people, teenagers and all sorts of hormones start flying in their head, and their thinking and all is totally gone. They cannot think properly. So that debility he has, you see. So at every stage, so like that, all of this he faces, he's bound to face debilities, he's bound to face disease, bound to face pain, bound to face, but it doesn't mean a bondage, because the word bound is used there. So bondage has all of this meaning. It appears as though we are caught in an eternal vortex. How will it come out? So the idea here Bhagavan gives in Gita, and which is now there in this shloka also, is to do the karma in such a way that the karma becomes karma yoga. When that karma becomes karma yoga will free us. Karma binds, karma yoga frees. That is the idea. Kurvan, now the hints are given here also, how to make sure that this karma doesn't bind this man. Nalipyate. How to make sure that Kurvan eva iha Jiji vishet Shatagam means shatam 100 years samaha. I should do in such a way and desire to live for 100 years in such a way what? That the karma does not bind me. So now if we find out how to do that, when we say how, what we mean? We mean what attitude. With what attitude are we supposed to do this karma? You notice, every karma which we do it with a certain attitude. And different karmas will have different attitudes, you know. And sometimes I'll show you different attitude. Look. I remember a nice joke, you know. That wife is asking that husband for money. So that husband gets angry. She asks all the time, you know. He gets angry. Money, money, money. All you want is money. You're always asking for money. What you really need is some brains. He tells to his wife. What you really need is some brains. She said, well, I'm asking you for what you have.
Good one, sir.
Not in front of ladies.
Now, sometimes I tell jokes, you know, that the ladies like. Sometimes I tell jokes men like, you know. So anyway. So, now see this attitude with which he has towards his wife. Attitude which he has towards his wife. Then the neighbor comes and the neighbor tells, oh my, well, please, you know, I have to go to the bank later, but I want, this fellow is cutting my grass here. Please give me $50. I want to pay this man. When I go to bank later with my card, I'll take it and I'll give it back to you. So, because you want to prove that you're a good neighbor, or you want to look good in the eyes of your neighbor, quickly you take out $50 and but when your wife was asking this now for money, you started, you know. So now there is one attitude here and there is one attitude there, isn't it? So we do actions with different attitudes all day or not?
Yes.
Everything which we are doing, we have different attitude with which to do that thing, isn't it? So now, really speaking, karma yoga has nothing to do with anything else except this. Bhagavan is just asking a very simple thing. With regard to your karmas, you should have the right attitude. That is all. Karma yoga is about the right attitude. And do you know, it is really the attitude that counts and not the action itself. We say that in simple language also. When somebody gives a present to us, right? The other person says, it is not really the value of the present that counts, but it is the thought that goes behind the act, isn't it? Oh, you remembered me? You remember it's my birthday? Oh, and the best way to remember your wife's birthday is to forget it once. They say. So, when we say that it is the thought that counts and not really the present, we are actually talking about something more profound, something more sublime. And I'll show you. In our Hinduism, let's come back to Hinduism just now. First, think about in the law. You know, in law, when they want to find out if one man murdered another man, the first thing they try to establish is, was there intent? Was there intent to murder? That is called premeditated murder. If there was no intent to murder, that doesn't fall in the category of murder. Yes. See, in law, law is very interesting. Law and Vedanta are very close. Lawyers and Vedanta are not close. But law and Vedanta, they are very, very, very close. One man wanted to kill his neighbor. Huh? See this thing. So he invited that neighbor across and he cooked Karela. Karela, you know? Bitter melon. And in that bitter melon, he put cyanide. Now, because the bitter melon is already bitter, if he's eating anything else, he will not taste that thing. So he put cyanide in that bitter melon. So that when the neighbor eats that thing, he'll Now, that neighbor came over for lunch. And there were so many dishes on that table. And Karela was one of them. But he doesn't like Karela. So while sitting there at the dinner table, he took that Karela, that little bowl, and he threw it out the window. He threw the Karela out the window. This host, his son was playing in the yard. And that son just took a little bit of the Karela and ate. No, see, this host, his intention was to kill his neighbor. His son was playing in the yard. He took that Karela and he ate. That son died. Now you please see this thing. If you have been to law school, you study this case. The judge had to decide whether that man is culpable. That host. He said, Your Honor, I had no intention of killing my son. There was no intention. So the judge had to, this case has to be decided in the court. You know the judgment, and it's sound judgment, it's a pure Vedanta also. The judge decided this man is culpable. They call culpable homicide. You killed your son. But Your Honor, I never intended to kill my son. The judge says, you did not intend to kill your son, but you intended to kill. Full stop. You intended to kill. It doesn't matter who you killed. The intention to kill was there or not. And this is the law, actually. In every jurisdiction, this is jurisprudence. Once there is an intention to kill, that makes the act evil. So you see, just only the intention, it doesn't matter who he's convicted of murder only. In the first degree, because it is premeditated. He planned it and put cyanide in Karela, and whether premeditated or not. So in law and in Vedanta, the exact same rule applies. My karma will be determined based on what the intention is behind the act. So Bhagavan is just telling now, behind all your actions, I want the right intention. When that act is done with the right intention, that act is called a karma yoga. When that thing is done with the wrong intention, that thing is called a karma, and karma binds. Now, what is this right intention? The right intention is very easily that is given in Gita, that is hinted in the first verse also. First thing is Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. I am doing that act for Ishvara. Now this itself is very difficult to follow, because we all do our act only for our self. Everybody acts selfishly. So behind my mind, I should act selfishly. Oh Prabhu, I am doing this for you. In this also there are stages. I am doing this for you. You are the one who is giving me the strength and everything to do this. So I am doing it for you. And the stage later on, look, I am not even doing this. You are the one who is doing it through me. That is the higher stage. So the action has to be accompanied by this understanding, this attitude, this intention. What? I am doing it for Ishvara. Otherwise, in this world, we only come and do for ourselves, or our family, we only do for... People say, but Swamiji, if I start thinking I am doing for Ishvara, I will neglect my family. I will neglect my duty. We say, no, you still haven't understood Karma Yoga properly. It means I have to take these people around me, my family, my wife, children, husband, whoever is here, mother, father, they are my family. I am doing this work which I am doing. I am going to work every day, getting salary, going shopping, bringing everything home. I am doing all of this because Ishvara gave me this duty to take care of these People. So I'm not doing it for the people, I'm doing it for Ishvara. He gave this duty. So I'm fulfilling my duty towards him. So Ishvara Arpana Buddhi it is called. Krishna Arpana Buddhi. Second thing, after I do my duty, do my work for Ishvara, every work will have some result. The result will be good or bad. Means it will be what I wanted or what I did not want. Anything may happen. That time we have to receive that result with what they call a prasad buddhi. Prasad buddhi means what? You know, when you get prasad in your hand, you know, if somebody is standing by the door and they're giving prasad. So when you walk out there and they dip in their bowl and they give, that time you get one kismis. Then you can tell, hey, I don't like kismis, you please give me coconut. You can't tell. Prasad means there has to be graceful acceptance. Prasad buddhi means whatever falls in my hand there, I cannot go and tell him, you know, I don't like kismis, you know, you raisin, you please give me coconut. After doing my work for Ishvara, whatever the result that comes, I say, Prabhu, thank you, it has come from you. Graceful acceptance. If I go on complaining and protesting and, you know, and yesterday only you were talking about, you know, Bhagavan, he dealt me a really bad way, I don't know why he spited me. Why the Lord did this to me. I am a good person, I did this good, that good, the other thing good, and good people suffer and all that. There is no prasada buddhi. There is absence of prasada buddhi. That type of karma will bind like everything, like anything. Graceful acceptance. Like Bhagavan wanted it to happen like this, so it happened like this. So next day, I go back to doing my duty. I return to doing my duty as I am supposed to do it. And if Bhagavan wants it to happen, it will happen. You go back and do the duty. Now, this type of attitude is what should accompany all our karmas. When this type of attitude is there, that karma becomes karma yoga. One more thing is there. Karma phala tyag. Karma phala tyag means I do not insist on a certain result. I plan, yes, I want this result or this result. I plan for that. But insistence should not be there, because the result will be dictated only by. I can plan, there is no problem. Nothing wrong in planning. But not insistence if this doesn't happen. And then many people, if this result did not, I'm fed up, don't tell me, I don't want to do this, I'll go and do something else now. You see? No, that means he has so much of insistence here. And it didn't happen according to which he wanted. And you know, Ishvara knows best. We only have minuscule knowledge, you know. Ishvara is sarvajña. He knows everything. And so many times we don't know. Ishvara did not give us that result for our own benefit only. One man got up late and wished to work late. And he told Bhagavan, why you did this to me? Now my boss scolded me, this thing, that thing. Oh, you called, why you made me get up late? Means that alarm did not ring. You spoiled my alarm. Then Bhagavan told, hey, look here. If you had gotten up early, you would have reached by that intersection at 7:01. And if you had reached at that intersection at 7:01, you would have gotten a terrible accident and you would have ended up in hospital. You prefer that or scolding from the boss? Which? Broken leg like this in hospital or scolding from the boss? Thank you, Bhagavan. Thank you. Good thing you made me get up late. The Lord knows best. So we plan, but don't insist on some result, understanding that the result really is in the hands of Karatuhu Agneya Prapyate Phalam. It means to say, you see, suppose there I put that mango seed, right? So I can dig the soil, put manure, put fertilizer, clear it up so that some sunlight will come, protect it from the day by putting something there and all that, right? So all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I can do. But whether that mango tree will give mangoes, can I dictate? No. So many trees I have planted never gave any fruit. I cannot dictate that, but I got shade. The trees gave shade. So we should be actually happy. Bhagavan wanted me to have only shade, not fruit. When I was growing up, there was a little, we call series cherries. Series cherries. So I planted one series cherry. This thing has been there for 15 years, no fruit. But it's nice green leaves and nice shady and everything. I was like, okay, Bhagavan wanted me to have only shade. So, one chiku also, I planted such a long, it's still there, no fruit. The others I have planted mangoes and got a lot of fruits. Yeah? But sometimes Bhagavan said, no. So if you don't get angry now, what is it? Lord is not looking out for me. You forgot me, what? Just accept, not insisting. So karma has to be done with this type of attitude, in dedication to the Lord. I am doing it for the Lord. That is called selfless karma. What we do is selfish karma. So selfish karma is karma. Selfless karma is karma yoga. If you want to sum it up in simple words. This is what is hinted in this, and by this means, this devotee, this sadhak, this aspirant, this seeker, he can also go along his path. So, what I told in the beginning, that we can either choose the path of jnana and meditation, or the path of karma and renunciation, like this, I renounce the results to Bhagavan. Or we can have a good combination of both. Some sadhaks, they have already gone through this path of karma, and they are the path where they can meditate and contemplate and all that kind of thing. Huh? But if we haven't reached there yet, we have to come through this path of karma. And that purifies the mind as we go. Chittasya shuddhe karma. It purifies the mind and brings us to a state where we can really meditate and all that. So the two verses speak about two different paths. When this person performs this karma, nalipyate nare, this karma will not bind. So, kurvan, when it, that first word, kurvan, iha eva, do the karma. Eva means like this, in this way. Do the karma so that it doesn't bind. Do the karma so that it frees. Don't do it selfishly, do it selflessly. That is the idea. Huh? So two different waves are there in these first two verses. Now see how many things are packed in these verses, and all this is amazing. 2 days lecture, only 2 verses finished.
So you have to be here to
extend your say something.
It's very nice Upanishad actually.
Yeah.
The third verse, we can see that introduction today. This is just a commentary on the first 2 verses. What is this commentary? It says, now see this, number 3. Asuryanamate lokaha
Asuryanamate lokaha
Andhena tamasavritaha Dagam ste pretyabhigachanti Ye kechatmahano janaha. What it means to say, no? Yeah. Atmahano janaha. This is the operative phrase, the last phrase. Atmahanaha janaha. Means those people who kill the self. Kill the self? Those people who are slayers of the self. What do you mean of slayer? It means to say, Look here, it's a very simple thing. The self is there in me, in you, in all of us, right? Atma. By nature, that Atma is free. But what is happening, we have, as though we have imprisoned the self in this cage. We have imprisoned the Atma in this cave, in this cage, and we are not really doing anything to free the Atma. We are doing more and more things to bind the Atma rather than free. So instead of doing more and more things to free ourselves and gain moksha, in this world human beings are doing more and more things to bind that Atma. He's called Atmahana, that person. It is as though, you see, when something is free and you're trying to bind it more, you're killing that true nature of that thing. So Atmahana simply means then one who doesn't make an attempt to free him, to free himself. He called it Atmahana, a murderer of the self. Literally speaking, you can't murder. It is symbolic language. One who he doesn't do anything to free himself. So in other words, the third verse is speaking about a person who doesn't follow the first verse or doesn't follow the second verse. He follows neither of them. He called Atma Hana. And then what happens to that person? He goes to Asuryanamate Lokaha. He goes to world of blinding darkness. What means? It means to say that he gets himself into more and more trouble. He gets deeper and deeper into the hole instead of coming out into the light of awareness. Asuryate nama lokaha. He goes to worlds where there is more and more suffering, more and more darkness, more and more ignorance, more tamas. He is actually burying himself deeper and deeper. That is the idea of the third verse. So it is like a admonition, a warning for a person. That you study the first verse or study the second verse and follow. That is the idea. Now from the fourth verse, a different wave starts. What is spoken about there? The same Atma or the same self or the same Ishvara which was described so far, that is going to be described now in more details. We'll see that tomorrow. Those are nice verses. Okay. Ram Chandra Pahi